Hey guys, Kelly here. Thank you for giving me some of your time today by tuning into my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you've not been here before, I hope you'll stick around and then decide that you're going to subscribe after you hear what I have to say. Well, you can subscribe right now. It really wouldn't hurt my feelings. But most people kind of want to know what the heck I'm talking about first. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my personal lupus terminology. So let me tell you guys, I'm going to hopefully kind of educate you a little bit along the way as well. So first of all, most people, when they exhibit lupus fatigue, they really just talk about how tired they are. And that's, I'm more than tired. I am what I call exactly exhausted. And when you are exactly exhausted, your body don't care where you are, doesn't care what you're doing. It needs to sit down right then and there. Sometimes it needs to lay down right then and there. And what I have learned with my body is if I don't honor that, I will be passed out in the bushes in public and tossing my cookies. So when my body says, sit your butt down, girl, I sit my butt down. So let me tell you a story about being exactly exhausted. So I have a very dear friend who knows my work ethic. Guys, I still work for a living. I just work online. And when I have good days, no brain fog, minimal pain, and some decent energy, I will work sometimes 14, 16 hours. So as you go through, and watch my different videos, you're gonna notice that I may be talking about different topics, but I'll be wearing the same outfit. And the reason for that is on those days that I have really good energy, I batch. I get as much done as I possibly can, because when I'm exactly exhausted, I may literally have to sleep for 4 days. And brain fog, which I'll talk about in another video, is pretty intense. So it keeps you from really comprehending, in my mind, beyond a second grade level. And you can't really get a lot accomplished when you can't remember what you were gonna say. You can't remember what you were trying to do. You've gotta have 9 million notes, all over the place, and a giant pad of stickies so that you can remember to even just take your meds, and you've got a chronic illness where you take meds every day. So when exactly exhausted kicks in, it's not cute. It ain't pretty. So when I don't have it, I work a lot of hours. And she came down here to visit with me, and we'd gone out and run some errands, and I said, I gotta get back now. And when we got back, which, she understood, and we hopped in an Uber. And my bedrooms are upstairs. I couldn't even get upstairs, guys. So I laid down here on the sofa, and I did not move a muscle. And that is no exaggeration. Like the position that I fell asleep in, I stayed in that position for well over 12 hours, to the point where she literally freaked out and thought that I had passed away. And when I finally did come to, so to speak, she said, I've never seen anything like that. It totally freaked me out. She was like, I had to call my mama. My mama had to tell me, make sure her chest is still rising and falling. And she says, I will never tell you again not to work the way that you do on the days that you do. Because if I don't get it in and get it scheduled, I don't eat. So that's exactly exhausted. So the next thing that I tend to say is, see, brain fog. That ain't cute. We're talking about lupus terminology, right? Okay. Oh, see, when I have severe pain, I don't know why this happens. And you all tell me if you experience this too. I know that like if you catch a cold, as soon as the sun goes down, that cold goes on the hyperdrive. It's like you probably couldn't breathe out of one nostril during the day. After the evening hits you, like nom, 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 you sound all nasally because both nostrils all clogged up, and and then you got extra pain and you hacking. Anyway, so for whatever reason at night, Lupus, if I had a painful day, it's a super painful night. Well, I refer to that as rock and roll night. So I know that many of you, if you're battling, you've heard the terminology painsomnia. That don't sound good to me. That just sounds like, I don't know, like I'm signing up for pain, like I'm asking for it. And that may, that's my perspective. You're under no obligation to accept that, but I call mine rock and roll. So when I typically tell people that I had a rock and roll night, they understand that to mean I had so much pain that all I could do was rock and roll. And guys, I will tell you, part of the reason that I do the terminology in the way that I do, one, I'm a goofball. I've got to make everything fun. It's how I cope. But also, I recognize that I'm sharing my lupus life with people who don't have lupus. And when you start talking about being ill and you're down in the mouth all the time, and they just start to try to avoid you. They don't want to hear what you have to say, and they're not going to learn what this disease really can do. And they're not going to be able to sympathize with you or empathize with you because they're not hearing you. And unfortunately, life works the same way getting viewers on YouTube does, if you will. You must be informative, or you must be entertaining, or you must be entertaining while you're informing. So my goal is not to entertain you. I'm just a goofball, but I also recognize that people will not hear you if you're bringing them down. They will not hear you if every time they see you, you've got something negative to say. So my terminology helps me cope, but it has also helped me over the years to educate people, and they get it. I've had a lot of people share with me that they didn't know what lupus was until I started sharing, and they are so open to listen, and I appreciate that. So the last bit of terminology that I refer to are my steroids. And many of us have been cycled on and off of steroids, and steroids have a reputation of making people rage. So I'm sure you guys have heard of roid rage before. Well, if you're in America, this may sound familiar to you. If you're not, I guess I'll explain it. There's two candy bars, actually. One is an Almond Joy, and it is a chocolate covered coconut candy that has 2 almonds on the candy. And then it has a sister candy bar called Mounds, and Mounds is just chocolate covered coconut. And the jingle is, sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. So I refer to my steroids as Almond Joys because sometimes I feel like a nut and sometimes I don't. On the days that I feel like a nut, I stay home because I have a lot of self-control, but I always also tease. I tell people, see the way my anger issues are set up. So when people say things or do things that tick me off, even before I got sick, y'all, I had no qualms, not a problem letting them know that they had ticked me off. But when you add steroids into the mix, it's almost like liquid courage, so to speak. It's like some guy that was mousy and he went into the bar and drank too much, and now he think he can beat everybody up in the bar. That's kind of how steroids makes you feel. You really are raging. And so for me on those days, I just stay at the house. I like my house. It's a cool spot to be in. So those are my lupus terminology. I guess I can't say words really because terminology and words kind of the same thing. But anyway, so hopefully this has helped you. If you've got some lupus terminology, share it in the comments below. Let me see what you're calling the nonsense that is going on with your body. And if you enjoyed this content, I know that my topic is heavy, but I don't really know how to do heavy. So if you enjoyed this content, think that it is helpful, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all those positive things. Yes, do that. All right, I'll see you guys next go around where I'll be talking about something else. Yeah, that's funny. in the next episode of The Nonsense with Kellie, she will be talking about something else. See you guys next go round. Ciao.